Greetings! Welcome to Lesson 3 of Plug Pro's Complete Guitar Course for Beginners. I'm Antonio Melendez. Today we're going to pick up where we left off on Lesson 2 with the right hand technique. We're going to go spend a little bit of time doing in-depth right hand technique. Where I left off last time was basic right hand position on the strings, and today we're going to continue on with that. So, first step, this exercise, right hand PIMA exercise is really important that you get this as part of your practice routine. First thing you do, place your thumb on the A string, index on the D string, middle G string, and ring finger on the B string. Now, do a little checklist here. Your right hand should have this kind of shape in it. It's a cross, looks like a little cross X kind of thing. It's really a natural shape. When your hand falls naturally, it usually takes that shape, and so we want to keep it as natural as possible. I place it on and I make sure my thumb is in front, creating that little X kind of cross thing. I never want my hands to look like that from above. You don't want your thumb behind the other fingers, because what happens is basically if you're trying to play the thumb and the index at the same time, they'll crash into each other and it'll affect your tone, or you'll just get a weird squeak or something out of the guitar. So keep your fingers like that, place them on. If you have fingernails, you want the string wedged underneath the fingernail, between the fingernail and the flesh, and that goes for all the fingers. And it's really simple, basic exercise that you can do. It's mindless. I mean, once you get the hang of it and it's part of your routine, you can do it while you're watching television, you're talking to somebody, you just sit there and do that over and over and over again. It's really muscle memory training. We're getting your fingers to know where to go without having to think about it. So the exercise goes like this, really slow. You want to get nice rich tone. You're going to hit the thumb, index, middle, ring. Do it about, I don't know, I'd say 50 to 100 times a day. If you're a real serious guitar student, that should be no problem. You should be practicing at least an hour and a half a day, and that should only take up about 2 or 3 minutes of your practice schedule. So do that over and over and over again. Watch your pinky. Your pinky may be sticking out like that, and that's bad news. You don't want to do that. It's basically, you have these fingers going one direction and your pinky going the other direction, creating tension, and that's just not good for your hand. Your hand will fatigue faster. You'll start to get cramps and you'll get tired. So try to keep your hand as relaxed as possible. The less tension, the better. At first, you're going to have a little tension because your hand's not used to being there in that position. But over time, if you consciously pay attention to how much tension you have in your hand, it should go away pretty quickly, especially if you do this every day. By about a week, it should be pretty natural and comfortable to do. Once you've done that a bunch of times, then we're just going to reverse it. And instead of starting on the thumb, we're going to start on the ring finger and work our way down. So it'll go ring, middle, index, thumb. Do that a whole bunch of times. Then we're going to do an alteration kind of, where we're going to go thumb, middle, index, ring. It sounds like this. Now for the first week or two, you want to do it like that with a pause in between. During that pause, you want to replace your fingers in the appropriate spot. You don't want to just do it once and then just start shooting, because you'll start picking up bad habits. Sometimes your finger will come down like this. Sometimes your thumb will come back here. So you really want to do it slow for the first week and just keep it real simple, real slow. Place your fingers back on, stop the sound, do it again. After a couple weeks of doing it, then your fingers will start to know where to go, and you can do it a little bit quicker without the pause. And what you'd like to do, if you could get a metronome, it's one of those little clicky things that'll keep time for you. You set it at a slow rate and you just go along with it. So if the metronome is going like that, and that'll help you get the rhythmic timing for your right hand, which is really important for lead guitar player, rhythm guitar player. Having good timing with your right hand is imperative. Okay, so we've covered going down, coming back up. The alteration where we skip, we go thumb, middle, index, ring. Now we're going to do another variation that's basically reverse of that one, which is ring, index, middle, thumb. Ring, index, middle, thumb. Again, ring, index, middle, thumb. Okay, so that's 4. It's going to give you a lot of, really beneficial to your right hand technique. Just doing those over and over and over again. I'm going to keep stressing that because it's so important. Then there's one more that we'll do that's a variation of that one, in which we switch the thumb from the A string to the E string. And we do that after every cycle. So thumb, index, middle, ring. Then the thumb switches to this string. These fingers stay on the same strings, and we go. As we progress in the lessons, the finger style is very unique in the fact that you can play a bass line while you're playing rhythm. Example would be something like, and I'm doing exactly that. I'm hitting the bass note here and then a bass note here. So it's important that our thumb can move around while these stay in the same spot. So to practice that, just do the the thumb, index, middle, ring, switch the thumb to the top string, and then back. And basically you want to do all the variations that we did doing that with the thumb. So the second variation would be where we start from the ring finger and work our way up, and then switch strings with the thumb. Then we do the other variation where we went. And so forth. So the idea is to keep changing every time you hit a bass note that you're switching from string to string. Then the next one we're going to do is we'll keep the bass note here and we'll switch these 3. So these, instead of being on the index being on D, middle on G, and ring finger on B, we're going to move them down to where index is on G, middle is on B, and ring finger is on E. And so we'll go. Then again, all the variations, you just run through every single combination you could think of. And there's a lot that I'm not covering that you can do that will benefit you very much. So just think of any possibility of combination of strings and practice it that way. It's really, really, really important. You're going to be doing that a lot if you're playing fingerstyle guitar, classical, jazz, or what have you. Okay, so then those are the basic arpeggio techniques, meaning an arpeggio means one note at a time in a chord. So a chord like A minor or C, you just play each of the notes in that chord one note at a time. Okay. The next step on this is what I call blocking. I don't know if there's an official term for it, but basically you're hitting all of them at the same time. And you're doing the same strings and you just pluck them all at the same time. I'm just pretty much just going like that with my hand. And it's not much more than that. It's real simple. It should be real relaxed. There should be no tension. Again, watch the pinky. Make sure you're not touching the guitar with it. Make sure your palm's not here. Just relaxed and floating. And then what we do is we can hit them all at the same time and do that. Count like 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Just hit all 4 strings. Once you get comfortable with that, then you can try going thumb and then the other 3 strings. So you're going. Then you can switch and start adding the variations, like the thumb variation.